All right, everybody, welcome to Division D West game in round one for NGS Season 7 between Full Meta Jacket and Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team. We're getting started on Dragonshire here, which was the pick of Full Meta Jacket. They opted for first map pick after winning the coin toss, and the map bans for this series were first banned by Full Meta Jacket, Battlefield of Eternity, and then, in response, Volskaya, banned by YCYCNST. Then, Full Meta Jacket responds with Infernal Shrine ban, and finally, a Braxis holdout ban by Yavapai Youth County Chess and Swim Team. Yavapai County Youth, excuse me. We do see a Zool ban first off. So, this is not a typical ban, but at this level of play in Division D, we typically see more scouted bans, so I wouldn't be surprised if Full Meta Jacket had a bomb Zool player that they just did not want to have to deal with. Especially on a map like this, Zool can provide you with that double soak bottom since the lanes are so close, and you can pressure top, or he can hold top with the lane being pushed forward and stay on that top point a little bit easier, or perhaps they just don't like dealing with Zool in general. We do see a more standard Diablo tank ban out of Full Meta Jacket, and a response with an Uther ban, potentially another targeted healer ban, because Uther's not typically a healer you see, but with the new changes, I believe Uther is very, very strong. Those move speed changes help his stuns be that much more impactful for his team. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a huge update yesterday that changed a lot of heroes, did some balance patches, and then also upped the move speed of all heroes across the board, except a few cases where they missed some people, like Eric Tier for our fellow Viking, by 10%. So now everybody just moves 10% faster base, which means slows affect you 10% more. Not 10% more of your new base, but 10% more when compared to how much you would have been slowed before. We do see Thrall banned out and then an Anubarak picked up. So the Thrall ban makes sense if it's more of a targeted thing, but he's also just very strong in the soul lane. Especially on this map, he can kind of bounce up in between mid and bottom and get that extra soak when you need it, and then join in for the team fight with his roots. And an Anubarak pick right away is still very strong, despite some recent nerfs on Wednesday. Still very strong tank. And then Dahaka and Jaina. I really like the Dahaka pick, and just to make Weenus happy, Dahaka! Just like that. That's how it's pronounced. So I like the Dahaka pick because Dahaka provides that global value. He can sit in the solo lane and then come down when needed. If the top lane is not being pressured too hard, he can come join the fight bottom, or if he knows he's going to lose top but there's a potential to grab bottom, he can do that. Same thing with Brightwing here. I really like Brightwing on this map because she can pop up and help that solo laner when needed. If he's getting pressured on the point, they just need to hold it for a few more seconds. I like the Phoenix. Phoenix is just a strong hero. And we're going to see Zul'jin banned out. Zul'jin actually pretty strong after the recent changes, simply because of his most of his abilities are auto attacks. Most of his damage comes from auto attacks. So you're not really going to see too much of skill shot focused heroes, I think, right now. Maybe once people get more used to those move speed changes, because they didn't update how fast projectiles go. They simply just made everybody move faster, so it's harder to hit those skill shots. We do see an Ana ban. That's pretty standard still. She did get nerfed recently, and with the move speed changes, she's a little bit harder to land her sleep and her healing darts with, but still a very strong healer all around. And definitely pairs well with Jaina and Dahaka, especially Jaina with that, I'm forgetting the name of the ability now, but it's the one that makes them have way better spells. My goodness, it's completely slipped my mind. I'll remember it at some point. We do see Johanna and Stukov picked up. I love the Johanna pickup. Johanna's just a great all-around tank, very, very strong, especially in the current meta. She can stick on heroes very easily and keep them from getting away. And then we have Stukov on heals. I like Stukov. He provides a lot of area heals, or sorry, a lot of sustain heals, and he has that good area denial. And we see Varian Murky. An interesting combo here out of Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team. But I want to know, are we going to see an Octograb Murky, or are we going to see March? Because I'd prefer to see Octograb with this combo. You can have the Varian dive on whoever's Octograbbed. You have follow-up stuns with a Nubarak, and you potentially have amazing combos with either of Phoenix's ults as he gets in there and shuts them down. Raynor is the last pickup for Full Meta Jacket. They are going to try to kind of round out that very standard meta team from Full Meta Jacket with that nice AA attack Raynor. He's gotten pretty strong. Stutter stepping is all the rage now. All the rage as we move into Dragonshire for our first game of Full Meta Jacket on this side. I'm flipped. Full Meta Jacket over here. And we've got over here. Over here. We've got Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team. It's that easy. It's not that long of a name, guys. All right. Let's head into game one. You're going to lose my beautiful face just as soon as this loads. But between now and then, Dragonshire is kind of one of those difficult maps to really figure out the meta on, because you have to bounce between top and bottom, and you need to capture both those points while being able to come into mid and capture midpoint as well. So it becomes this kind of very difficult balance of, you can't really afford to 5-man on this map, because if you do, you're losing something somewhere. Oh no, I forgot to turn off my cursor guides. Let me do that real quick. Turn that cursor size down. Turn that off and enable the mouse scroll. And we're back in game. All right. I'm going to go ahead and take myself out of your face. And we're going to get started with game one. Full Meta Jacket brings you Dahaka, played by Jaggerob, Jaina, played by Barber, Raynor, played by Israfine, hope I pronounced that right, Stukov, played by Modus Trollin, and Johanna, played by Runtime Logic. And on our red team, we have a Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team with Anubarak, played by Andrade, Varian, played by Hybrid Remix, Brightwing, played by Orluna. We already have some B steps going on here, trying to get that B step stat up. On Phoenix, we have Shank B9. And finally on Murky, we have Megu Milk. Already trying to spam those B steps. Let me go ahead and select this About to Die minion, so get that out of your way. As we see already, kind of a quick clear by Full Meta Jacket. Just moving quickly, 4-1 rotations with the Haka. Very smart play here. Let's go ahead and zoom out and give you guys a little bit better view. So they're kind of doing these opposite rotations with the 4 and 1. They've got Murky up in top, but it looks like Full Meta Jacket's a little bit faster on the rotations here, so they're going to be a little bit ahead in soak, but it doesn't look like they're missing anything. And they actually decide to leave Varian bottom, potentially to get a gank if they step up too far. I like this right here by Full Meta Jacket, already grabbing their camp. Very, very quick. Comes up at 1 minute, and we do see Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team move immediately onto their siege as well. Just kind of doing this nice dance around bottom lane. This is kind of the lane you really want to focus if you can. If you provide a lot of pressure in this lane, it can make it a little bit easier for solo laner to grab the top. We see Anubarak almost go down from that Raynor. The Brightwing is denied the warp in by the push from Raynor's Q. Penetrating shot, I think it's called. And let me go ahead and get those level 1 talents up there for you. We do see tissue regeneration out of Dahaka. So a little bit of a non-standard off-lane Dahaka pick in tissue regeneration, but is going to help him stay more alive during these team fights, which is important on this map, because being able to come down to the bottom lane after you've won a fight top lane and still have that survivability is great. I love what we're seeing out of Varian here, just protecting mid lane, not letting them have the chance to channel, as we see Murky go down first. Not a huge surprise. And not a huge gain for Full Meta Jacket out of a single Murky kill. He's already back up on top point. They've captured bottom point. looks like this fight bottom is going in the favor of Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim team, but Anubarak is going to have to start backing out here. We do see Jaina still protecting this point mid, so even though they have both, and they did just lose top from the Murky to the Dahaka, we're going to see this fight re-engage here. Varian. Phoenix getting a little low. His shields are down, but Brightwing going to be able to keep him alive once he starts losing health, and he will be just fine. We do see a level 4 talents coming online. So this one who collects, so I understand the choice. It helps him stay in lane a lot more easily. It helps him gather this quest a little bit faster as long as he's staying in lane. And against a hero like Murky, who can actually be difficult to kill sometimes, it might be the right choice. Kind of a awkward Z there. Not really going to be able to do much here, so you're probably better off saving it. And you can't restore his shields with your Z until 7. So not getting too much value out of that Brightwing Z, and it's going to be on cooldown now. She did go bribe, so she won't have it back for a while. Phoenix not really able to step up, simply doesn't have a Nubrak there, but they are going to try and gank, and almost complete a gank against Jaina. Juggerob responds by Zing down. This gives Murky a chance to recap top as Juggerob tries to channel. Not going to do that when 3 of YCYCNST is right there waiting. Itisu Johanna waiting in this bush, ready to gank at the first sign of a channel, but they dive on the Raynor. Anubarak's a little bit alone out there, but we do have Phoenix coming in from the bottom. Johanna's pushing them away. Phoenix is getting good damage on the backline of Raynor and Jaina, but Stukov keeping those heals up. Johanna getting a little low, but she simply pops her Laws of Hope and is back up and ready to fight. We do see Phoenix getting a lot of value out of those massive shots, some clumping happening on the side of Full Meta Jacket as we move into another stage of this phase here, as the top shrine is capped by Full Meta Jacket and the bottom shrine is kept by Varian of Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim team. Man, that's a mouthful. We do see Bribe get that stack, Bribe stacks get that camp for Yavapai, and Full Meta Jacket goes in and takes theirs in their own time. So those will meet bottom lane. Phoenix getting very low, barely teleporting out. The Z from Brightwing coming in on Anubarak, keeping him up. We do instead see Critical Mist, which is pretty good with a Jaina on their team, simply because Jaina's slows are going to be on you at pretty much all times. So your D, especially combined with Magic Spit, has now, your trait as Brightwing has now essentially just become a burst area heal in addition to a slow removal. So pretty good choice here in response to these. I would have liked to see the shield on Z simply because it provides a lot of value to the Murky, who doesn't have very much health in the first place. Murky bribing this whole bruiser camp right under Dahaka's nose, keeping those bribe stacks for a full 4-man bribe. They might end up getting this Sippy, which is very bad for Dahaka if he lets it happen, but it doesn't look like they're going to keep focusing it as soon as he steps into play. So at least it prevents Full Meta Jacket from grabbing it, and also gives him the chance to step on this and prevent the channel mid. But Yavapai's already got Varian and Anubarak there, keeping it safe. We do see 3 members, potentially all 4 members here other than Juggerob, rotating up onto mid to try and grab this little bit of soak. We do have both teams 10 now, so let's go ahead and see what these talents are. Adaptation, I think a pretty good choice in response to the move speed changes. Going to be a lot harder to land that isolation now. We do see Water Elemental, Raynor's Raider, Massive Shove, and Blessed Shield out of Full Meta Jacket. That's going to help them out quite significantly. This Massive Shove is going to be great for pushing out a target like Varian after he dives in, or even a Anubarak after he's dived in. The Ray is actually going to help this Murky take out Dahaka's chances of keeping him off top point, but it is contested now, and we do see Andrade attempting to stop the channels just long enough for bottom to be recapped. And this is going to be the dance of the game, folks. We have yet to even see the Brightwing Z top or the Dahaka Z bottom to try and swing these in either direction. The dance of the game, especially on Dragonshire, is who can capture both points at the same time and still afford enough to go top. Let's go over the alts of Yavapai really quickly. We do see Cocoon, good. We see Colossus Smash out of Varian, so I should have mentioned that earlier, but Colossus is going to be great for when he wants to dive on those squishy targets like Jaina, like Stukov, and potentially Raynor as well. A little bit of an engagement here by Yavapai, trying to dive in, trying to keep this pressure up bottom because of the pressure top from Dahaka. Murky able to kind of take and stand his own there. We do see Blink Heal. That's a good choice here. I think a lot of teams will go for Emerald Wind simply because of the point capture nature, and that is a dead Murky top, which successfully gives Dahaka the finish of his quest. It is a 4v3 bottom as Brightwing has moved to bribe this camp. Brightwing grabs another camp. With double bribe out of Yavapai, I would be quite surprised, and that is the combo I wanted to see and why I was waiting to mention Planet Cracker and Octo Grab together can just demolish an opponent, and that has been very well choreographed. The Unstoppable going out onto everyone, but especially onto Anubarak, who ends up falling anyway after the silence keeps him in for far too long. And we do see, I love this talent. This root talent on your silence is flat out amazing. It combines especially well with the timed increase root, as well as the one that makes it last after you stop channeling, because it gives you a chance to kind of get that a little bit longer. We do see bottom Sippy actually goes to full meta jacket here, and that's a significant gain for them. Now that there's no Sippy bottom, it's going to be extremely difficult for Yavapai to maintain pressure in bottom lane and on bottom shrine. That blink heal just barely saving the Phoenix. We do see the increased spell armor in response to the Jaina. Anubarak doing a good job of keeping Dahaka from channeling this top point as Murky goes top, again bribing this camp and stealing it out from under the nose of full meta jacket. We do see a rotation towards mid to attempt to get this Anubarak, but he should be fine. He's got Unstoppable and a dive. We do see Brightwing backing for mana. She does have Z. Who's she coming in on? She's coming in on Anubarak, ready to engage with this fight. They have lost bottom point as a result of their rotation mid to attempt to stop the channel, but they did get top point in response. Dahaka moving up. Anubarak very far in without the rest of his team. Can he make it away? He does. Blink heal will keep him perfectly nice and healthy, but Phoenix just locked down by the drag and unable to make it away. That is a sad Phoenix right there, folks. So what is Full Meta Jacket going to do with this one-man advantage? They're going to take the siege camp of Yavapai. This is a good call. They've had their bruiser camp taken twice from them now, so they need that camp pressure, especially with bottom lane dead. This is going to force, this bottom fort is dead. This is going to force, look, 2 members of Yavapai, which actually gets that Anubarak killed up here because Phoenix is still down. So the little bit of push, we are actually seeing quite a bit of push, but this Murky needs to make his way out. Raynor's coming up. Murky, what are you doing? Yeah, Murky summarily destroyed. But it did get a little bit of damage off on the Raynor. But that push top is good. That getting that Sippy top is very important towards helping Murky keep this point. Despite Dahaka's trait where he can simply heal himself as long as he's near these minions in lane. And getting all that extra essence from one who collects. He's going to have a difficult time keeping this lane anyway because now he lacks the Sippy required. We do see both shrines currently taken by Yavapai, but then summarily taken back by Full Meta. We are now at 12 minutes and 30 seconds into this game without a single Dragon Knight phase. We have been fighting over these points for 12 and a half minutes. Both teams are level 16. This is even talent. But Yavapai is down their Varian, so they need to be careful engaging here. They're trying to get a pick on the Jaina, and it works. They get him. Cocoon goes onto the Johanna, keeping her from peeling for the rest of her team. It's not going to result in another kill, but it will result in Phoenix getting out alive, Varian being able to join the fight, and now this is a 5v4 in favor of Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim team. We see a dive from Anubarak on to Rainer, but it's not going to result in much of anything. Johanna is there to peel for her team. We see Murky grabbing top again, taking it from this Dahaka as Brightwing is backing. I'm almost certain she has her Z to come back in as soon as her mana is back, and we do see Phoenix taking bottom. Needs to be careful. They are grabbing this bottom siege. He does not have a fort to retreat into here. Anubarak should probably join these two if they really want to take this bottom, as Murky and Dahaka just dance back and forth between captures of this shrine. If they're going to hold bottom, they need a third member here, but Varian's busy cleaning, so they're not going to be able to hold it. They're going to go ahead and give it for now and hope that they can grab it now that it's a 4v3. They're getting a little bit of damage out on Johanna. Laws of Hope will keep her alive. Anubarak is eating a ton of damage from Rainer's auto attacks right there. And Murky's death top means that they need to hold this point bottom or sacrifice it and send someone mid to stop the channel. They've been doing a good job thus far of knowing when to back out, knowing when not to take the engage. That is, Yavapai has been... I mean, both teams, honestly, have been doing a great job of kind of this massive dance back and forth. I'm wondering what is going to be the deciding factor here. We have one fort taken in this game. Both teams, level 17, and one sippy top. Dahaka, a little bit harder to hold top. For the rest of Yavapai, harder to hold bottom. We do have the siege camp picked up by Full Metal Jacket. And the Bruiser camp still stolen by Murky for a third time this game, unless I've missed one. A third time this game, but summarily just taken away. Still getting a ton of value out of that bribe by simply denying them that top pressure. And Brightwing takes the Bruiser camp at the same time for themselves, using her bribe. I love double bribe on this map because there are so many camps. And camps are key to keeping yourself pressure on the lanes in this game. We do see Yavapai has both lanes right now. Anubarak hiding in the bush, waiting to come in, stepping up on Jaina. Jaina's very far forward. Unfortunately, the rest of the team's not in position to get past the Johanna. We do see Johanna get cocooned. I want to see them collapse on the Johanna. Instead, Anubarak probably makes the smart decision by backing off. Very low health. Brightwing, not that great at burst healing, but provides a good amount of sustain. We do see top getting pressured. Juggerub taking massive damage from this camp and from the Murky. Murky barely surviving with Bubble Shield. He's not going to take out Dahaka, but he will get the fort. And that provides equal pressure now in top lane as to what Yavapai is experiencing in bottom lane, making this dance likely to last even longer. We do see Yavapai take a slight level lead here, just about a quarter level above Full Meta Jacket. Going up towards level 20. If they get level 20 first, they need to take advantage of this. They should be sending someone mid right now. As they're just about to cap, they can hold a 3v4. They don't need to win a 3v4, but it looks like Jaina's going to go up, so now it's a 4v3 in favor of Yavapai. We do see Phoenix get pushed out. Again, I'd like to see him focus on the Varian, but Varian hadn't dived in, so the Phoenix was still a good push. Jaina waiting in this bush. I would have... Yeah, that's a good rotation by Jaina. She sees the whole team coming up. She might still end up... And there she goes. She probably should have just left up this path here. So next time, Jaina, if you're there and you know that they're rotating up on you, just leave out this way, rotate safely through this bush, potentially rotate up to top lane where you have your Dahaka. We do see Dahaka retake top as Yavapai retakes bottom. So this dance is continued all the way into level 20. Rewind grab for Anubarak. Glory to the Alliance, providing extra heals, so giving that Brightwing even more power. Extra move speed, great pick right now, especially with the base move speed update. That's even more raw increase in move speed for Brightwing, in addition to helping her rotate between the lanes, which is very important on this map. We have Singularity Charge. So full auto attacks here. Yes, full auto attack build from Phoenix. And then Big Tuna Kahuna. So we've got big old Mega Murky here. Going to be able to take on Dahaka pretty easily now, actually. A big engage happening mid lane as they attempt to grab, but Phoenix going to go down first. It's still a 3v2 because of the because Jaina was out and Johanna was cocooned. Variant dives in, but he's not going to be able to keep himself alive off of that banner alone. And they're going to have to back off here. Although they have both points, I doubt they're going to get the channel. Simply, there's too many members of Full Meta Jacket present and ready to destroy if they step up. Brightwing taking a little bit of damage here. Anubarak opting to make a cheeky rotation top. Don't think we've seen this yet this game. To help stay on top of this Dahaka. And that huge land of the pufferfish is going to keep this Dahaka out of the game for the next 60 seconds. We need to see Yavapai capitalize on the 60-second loss as soon as their two members are back. They'll have about 30 seconds of time with a 5v4. They are engaging now top. This is a 2v3. Anubarak needs to make his way out. Murky is going to go down thanks to Rainer's Raider. Oh, he's staying alive. But we do see Jaina finally gets the channel. And this is going to be a strong Dragon Knight. Now, what I want to see them do with this, definitely want to take this out. I would like to see a quick rotation top to destroy this Sippy and make it even harder for future Dragon Knight Shrine pushes for Mercury to keep that. But they're going to opt to take it bottom and just provide that extra bottom pressure. They could potentially get this bottom keep. I would have liked to see this Sippy go down and then just take mid keep instead. But opting perhaps for a little bit of a safer play here. The rest of the team still kind of engaging and preventing that Murky push top. So top lane is pushed out quite far. They are going to get this keep. Still 50 seconds left. Potentially could get core here if Yavapai does not defend well enough. 77% health. 45 seconds left to go. I need to see a push here from Full Meta Jacket to take game one. This is all up to Yavapai to defend this. We see a massive, massive Planet Cracker combined with Varian's body blocking take down Johanna, and this will be the defense they needed. That is two members traded for a Murky. And they are absolutely on top. Rainer getting cocooned. They are on top of this Dragon Knight. They need to turn around and get the Rainer. Don't let him escape. Don't let him get the kill. There you go. Yavapai grabs Rainer, and now they have a 3-man lead here. They need to create a massive amount of pressure with this. Push their lanes back out, get camps with your double bribes, and push a lane to a fort. Potentially get a fort wall. To a keep. Potentially get a keep wall. I don't think you're going to be able to get the keep itself, simply because of the staggered Rainer death. So we really only see about 20 seconds of time here. But good grabbing this more forward siege. It's going to be more readily available during this downtime. They are going to get bottom, so that trades this kind of more equal value now. Bottom, a little bit harder to keep that bottom shrine now for Full Meta Jacket. So a good play to push bottom and provide that counter push in the lane where it's needed most. They are going to get keep wall here. There is still about 10 seconds here. They are almost back online with all of their ults. Planet Cracker is the last one to come online. Will be online about a few seconds after. But that is a huge Blizzard with a huge Root and Silence. And that amazing combo of the Root, Silence, and Blizzard is going to take down both Phoenix and Anubarak. And very likely turn this fight onto the Varian, who also gets taken down. Brightwing may potentially escape thanks to Speedy Dragon. Speedy Dragon providing a little bit of value, but that's slow going to take it all away. Jaina chasing. Murky attempting to respawn top. Full Meta Jacket grabbing the opposite camp because they cannot grab their own. Where is Murky going? Is he just going to... Oh, he's just going to poke this little bad boy down. Unfortunately, Full Meta Jacket knows what they're doing, and they're going straight for core. They need to do so now when there's only 2 members to respond by Yavapai. 3 members still down for about 20 seconds. Going straight onto core is the right call here. Ignore the objective. Ignore the lanes that are being pushed into you because they are not going onto core. You are, and it looks like Full Meta Jacket with that kill of Murky is going to be taking game 1 here, folks, on Dragonshire in the match between Full Meta Jacket and Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team. We will go ahead and take a look at those post-game statistics. I think what ended up happening was Full Meta Jacket got that Shrine cap, and essentially that came out of a good team fight. They won one good team fight and kind of were able to push pretty hard from there, getting that Dragon Knight very late into the game. Both teams already had level 20 by the time that first and only Dragon Knight came around, that they could push right up onto core. It was a good call by them. I know I was saying grab mid and then grab that top sippy. It's a good play to just push that bottom lane in as much as possible and provide as much pressure there as you can. We do see Jaina getting a ridiculous amount of siege damage, and Raynor just absolutely demolishing in terms of hero damage, showing just how strong he is after these recent updates. And we will go ahead, and once I get that invite, again, hop back into our next game. In the meantime, I will leave you all with this. All right, folks, I am happy to bring you Game 2 between Full Metal Jacket and Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team, this time on Sky Temple, chosen by Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team, opting for the map pick this time, potentially have some macro strats to pull out on us on Sky Temple, as we see Full Metal Jacket gets the first draft ban and pick here. We can go ahead and restart if necessary. And this first ban going to be on Kale Thoss. Modus trolling. So there was a little bit of an issue there. Sorry for a second. With Israfine having the oh goodness, my neck. With Israfine having the captain hat, but they're like, nah, it's all right. We'll just communicate. We have to talk to each other at some point, right? Man, I hate these guys. Why do I have to talk to my teammates? God, ugh, awful. I couldn't do that with my teammates. Ugh. But we do see a Kael'thas ban out of Full Metal Jacket, pretty strong. Kael'thas is just a really strong mage. Even with the movement speed making it a little bit easier to get out of his flame strikes, he's just really strong. And the Anubarak ban out of Full Metal Jacket, or Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team. Excuse me, my bad. So we do see Yavapai go ahead and ban out that Anubarak. Don't want to deal with it. Don't want to grab it this match. Maybe they don't think it was doing enough for them last match. You see Jaina banned out by Full Metal Jacket, potentially thinking it's first pick material here. I think Jaina's very strong now with the move speed update because her slow simply provides better raw, slow numbers on her opponents, making you catch up just slightly faster than you did before. She's also just very strong. We saw Full Metal Jacket do a lot of damage with her last game. So let's see what first pick priority here is for Full Metal Jacket. Are they going to grab for a healer? Are they going to grab for a tank? I'd like to potentially... There we go. I was going to say, I want to see a tank here, potentially Diablo. So Diablo's pretty good on this map. He has a lot of stun points on the shrines themselves and coming into and out of the shrines, as well as near the light. So that helps him get a little bit more value. We do see Raynor and Orphea picked up on the side of Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team. Excellent choices here. Raynor's going to, one, steal that choice away from Full Metal Jacket because they were dominating with Raynor last game. And two, he's just an overall strong hero, especially on maps like this one, big maps. And that's where Dahaka is going to come in. Dahaka being picked up by Barber this time, played by Juggarob last game. Instead, this game, Juggarob opting for the Gul'dan. I wonder if we'll see a swap go into place. It doesn't really make sense because they both picked during the same thing, but who knows. Potentially they wanted this at this time and just needed to pick up the Gul'dan for someone later, or they just both play Dahaka. And we do see Ana banned out again by Yavapai. Pretty solid healer ban. She's got very, very strong numbers overall, especially once you get up into the later levels. She can kind of just burst heal to no end. And the healing denial is pretty significant too, so that's going to mess with heroes like Orphea and Raynor, who both have self-heals. So Gul'dan's going to be a very strong mage, lots of damage over time. We do see Johanna banned out, so opting to get rid of that strong frontline tank. I'd like to see Andrade pick up... So I was thinking Arthas, but only because I know Andrade plays Arthas, because I had a chance to look at his profile before we started. Arthas is going to be okay here with the Diablo and Dahaka. My fear only is that Dahaka is not going to be with the rest of the team for most of the game. That Z is going to get a lot of value simply because it gives him full map traversal potential. So he can soak top lane while there's a shrine starting bottom and help get that level advantage for them. And with no global in response. And a Lucio healer as well. Lucio very strong on this map. Lucio's very strong on this map because his move speed boosts help your whole team rotate across the huge distances from top to bottom lane in this map much, much, much more quickly. Zul'jin, also amazing with the recent updates. His auto attacks are very strong. I talked about it last time when he was banned out, and they want to pick him up this time. And now we're looking for the last pick. I didn't mention the Rhaegar. Rhaegar, great pick. And Ragnaros, I like the Ragnaros pick. It's going to provide a lot of power to their macro push and keep them from getting overwhelmed by the Dehaka. The Dehaka Global and the Lucio rotations are going to be a little bit less of a threat now because Ragnaros can simply respond with a Lava Wave. Potentially Sulfurous Smash. I'd probably opt for Lava Wave, though, on a map like this. Just this big, nice map where macro is really important. Having Lava Wave and making sure that your waves are not getting pushed is going to be probably the most significant advantage you can get. We do see Rhaegar as a healer. I like Rhaegar. He's so strong. His recent updates with his shield talents make him a very, very powerful healer with the potential to deal out a lot of damage, soak a ton in lanes because of the damage provided by his W, and also help lock down those opponents with his E, potentially at later levels getting up to a 90% slow. That's essentially just a root, despite the fact that it doesn't create those inability to cast movement abilities, but still, a 90% slow is very significant. So we will start this match, this time on the side of Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team. They need a win to push this to Game 3. We have more B-stepping by Shank-B9 as Raynor. We have Megu Milk playing Ragnaros, Hybrid Remix playing Orphea, Aura Luna playing Rhaegar, and Andrade on the Arthas. On Full Meta Jacket, we have Modus Trollin playing Lucio, Runtime Logic playing Diablo, Barber playing Dehaka, Juggerab playing Gul'dan, and Israfine playing Zul'jin. And I get my pretty little face out of your map, zoom out, and show you those level 1 talents. We do see Headhunter out of Zul'jin, pretty standard. We do see Shifting Meteor. Looks like nobody opting for Vision, despite the call for 10-man deathmatch for Vision. Die for the eye, baby. That's a pretty good one. I gotta say that next time that I'm in practice with my teammates. First engage here, not yielding too much. Lucio just gathering those crossfade stacks. Tissue regeneration again out of Dehaka, so perhaps they just like that more survivability out of Dehaka a little bit better. Dehaka needs to be careful, though, as 3 members of Yavapai County rotate up. Raynor, you need to stay on his left. Alright, when you rotate up like that, Raynor, you got to stay right here to prevent him from easily walking to the left and getting himself out. Now he just simply Z's bottom and starts grabbing that soak bottom in the face of Ragnaros. Ragnaros opting to hit heroes with Living Meteor to allow it to be redirected. I hate that quest because I can never get it. And it hurts so bad when other people do it to me. We do see both teams already on their sieges. Zul'jin opting to do it alone, while Rhaegar and Raynor opt to do it together. Diablo ready to engage if they attempt to come over. As Full Meta Jacket kind of goes into this laning phase, they're looking like they're trying to do just a 1-3-1, potentially get that Lucio to rotate down once that wave is clear, and Dehaka has a chance to go back top. Typically you want your 4-man rotating between top and mid, simply because the siege camps bottom are a little bit easier to have push with your solo laner. But, you know, that's just like what my team does. I don't really actually know if it's better to stick your solo laner top, potentially because then your rotators can grab this camp pretty easily without losing too much soak. But as long as you're playing it right, I assume either way is pretty optimal. And it seems like these teams know what they're doing, as we see Ragnaros kind of just overpowering bottom. These guys barely have any damage on them, these Siege Giants, as Ragnaros is just crushing this bottom wave. We do see Orphea in a little bit of a bad spot. Runtime Logic opts not for the slam. I wonder if he used it earlier. But we do see a 4v3 here for Yavapai, so full meta needs to be a little bit careful. And we see rotations back towards top lane, rotating up through this light. Yavapai making sure to grab it just before full meta jacket grabs it back. Very courteous, nice, just trade back and forth of the light. They're sharing, they're being caring. Ragnaros in a lot of trouble here if he doesn't rotate quickly. This is gonna be a pick. Yeah. Even with the new move speed updates, there's no way Ragnaros makes it out of that. He's simply standing too far forward without knowing where the rest of the team is. If you don't see them top and you don't have light, assume they're coming mid and back up. That's essentially the only smart and safe way to do it. We do see Dahaka staying bottom, grabbing that extra soak as Yavapai goes ahead and takes this top shrine. Now, structure damage is the name of the game here. So whichever team can get more pressure in a lane, which we already see is Yavapai getting pressure onto this fort already, whereas Full Meta Jacket is just now getting pressure onto the fort with only a few shots left on this shrine. Yavapai could potentially push this in and take top fort here. That's 3 against 1. They're still channeling this shrine, but probably a safer call to make sure you have light first so you know where they are. Raynor stepping up. Raynor needs to get out of town. I like this Frozen Wastes quest, actually, in this case. If you can stick on the Zul'jin, which I know is difficult because he has that nice juicy range bonuses, especially from Headhunter and completing his quest. But if you can stick on him, which, how does he have 0 stacks? That can't be right. If you can stick on him during that quest, it makes it, or while he has his trade up, it makes his attack speed bonuses basically non-existent. And then he's also just hurting himself from his trait. So if he's not smart enough to turn that trait off when he's under the effect of your slow, it can be a pretty significant nerf onto his damage output and to his health. We do see a 3-man rotation back to top. Orphea opting to guard mid, soaking up that lovely healing totem healing. They need to go ahead and push down this fort before they lose their own. Forts provide... Ooh, Arthas, maybe you wait for your wave there, bud. We do see Siege Cramp grabbed by Full Meta Jacket. I'm going to zoom out a little bit further so you guys can see this whole bottom lane going on. We do see Bruiser go ahead and be grabbed by Yavapai, so they are responding with a camp in turn. Arthas, though, very out of position, going to get taken out just before this temple activates. He should be up by the time the temple activates, but it means Full Meta Jacket is going to have a little bit of an easier time getting on to the thing in the first place. Megu Milk needs to get himself out of there. And in fact, he gets the Gul'dan as a counter pick to the rotation gank. This Ragnaros is a Ragnaros after my own heart, man. Amazing. That is actually going to significantly even things out despite Full Meta Jacket's level 10 advantage. They do have Arthas coming down. They do have 2 members still mid. But Dahaka's still top. They're going to lose this fort potentially to this camp. Looks like Dahaka has done a good job of defending it. As Yavapai goes ahead and grabs this, making use of that lava wave. They are 10 now to keep that pressure up. Bottom. I kind of would have rather seen that thrown top just to see these waves get destroyed and Dahaka have a little bit less easy of a time of counter pushing this very low fort. But they should get a fort out of this shrine. Yeah, that's going to take that down. And in summarily fashion, we have Full Meta Jacket grabbing the fort from Yavapai in mid. We do see a big engage here. Yavapai needs to back off. Isolation has gone out. It's been used. Gul'dan is down. Yavapai can afford to turn this as long as Rhaegar can keep Ragnaros alive. Ragnaros is backing up. Zul'jin is dead. Zul'jin only has 4 stacks on his quest. 2 Headhunter stacks now. Doing a very good job, Yavapai, of when they're dying, not dying near... Oh, actually, they only died twice. 3 times. But no. Only twice. Alright, well, good job, Yavapai, keeping yourselves alive to prevent that Zul'jin from getting that Headhunter value. I think it's difficult. I haven't seen Zul'jin too much with the rest of the team. He's often been off in a lane by himself. Makes it very difficult for him to stack. Oftentimes, there's probably a better pick for the solo lane than Zul'jin if that's where you're going to force them. But come late game, if we can get there, Full Meta Jacket is going to be very dangerous with a fully stacked and Headhunter stacked Zul'jin. They are opting to grab their siege. There was a little bit of a fight over boss, but had to back off because Full Meta Jacket was back to full, and Yavapai pretty low. Just checking it out, making sure they're not still on it. Full Meta Jacket opting to grab their own siege. Looks like Ragnaros is going to opt to go. He's already got that. Wow. So we do see siege grabbed here, and that is a good response. Lava Wave should be just on time to catch those siege giants as they push into the lane, help keep their own siege giants pushing, and destroy the entire wave behind. It was perfectly timed, just a little early. So, hot tip to any Ragnaros players with Lava Wave out there. If you throw it just at the 45 or the 15, waves spawn at every 30 seconds, and your Lava Wave will reach the core just as that next wave spawns and kill it right as it spawns. They are getting bottom shrine here for Yavapai. They are ahead on structure damage, so getting this bottom shrine is going to be significant for them, potentially helping them crush even further. Looks like, what are they doing? They're opting to come up here and steal this bruiser camp. Let's see if they figure it out. They're clearing mid right now. They don't know. They do know Dahaka's the only one here. So it looks like they're rotating up to gank the Dahaka. Dahaka alone, rooted and dead. Was it worth it? Was that bruiser camp worth it? It will get them top fort. It will get them probably a wall if they don't respond. But guess what? You just lost your shrine and you lost your Diablo. So they have now 2 forts very close to death. Doesn't get the wall out of the keep. 2 forts very close to death, ready to be poked down at any time. Yavapai being very patient with them, moving back down to bottom. That was a good rotation by Yavapai. They knew Diablo was alone. They weren't necessarily aware that Full Meta Jacket was here. They probably suspected Full Meta Jacket was on their own bruiser. But they knew Yavapai was alone and rotated up to take that shrine. Sorry, they knew Diablo was alone, so Yavapai rotated up to take that shrine from Full Meta Jacket, and then summarily can rotate down and take the bottom shrine back. They get both top and mid lane, and now have 1 extra fort. They're fighting over the boss here. Very dangerous, but they don't have Dahaka. Arthas not surviving. 3-man stun by the boss, and the fear on the point puts the boss over in favor of Full Meta Jacket after being completely cleared by Yavapai. Retreating to their 1 fort here. That was an amazing pickup, an amazing fear by Gul'dan there. Absolutely amazing play. We do see Ragnaros goes ahead and hops in, so it's going to save a little bit of damage off this guy, make him last a little bit longer, but again, still not too much longer. They're going to have to give it up, potentially take this fight on the bridge here. I like Full Meta Jacket's call here. Going to take a little bit of time for this this Mr. Dude here to actually get up. So go ahead and take the siege while you're at it. They've got top pushing, they've got mid pushing, they've got bottom pushing. And they're pushing with the boss now. Team members are even here, but all of the ults except Ancestral are used, and Zul'jin still has Tazingo. Hey, teammate, Mr. Great Potato, don't private message me while I'm in the middle of a cast, Mr. Mom, I'm on TV. I can't even message him back. Shame on you, Great Potato. We do see Full Meta Jacket being pretty dominant in the macro calls here. I think the Dahaka is helping them a lot. I think what's helping them the most is the Lucio rotations. The Lucio move speed just granting them those quick rotations. The potential to steal camps. Basically, every single camp on this map has been taken by, and now they're setting up for the bush gank. Oh, but they didn't all move in at the same time, giving Yavapai a little bit of chance to back up here. APOC is thrown down, but misses completely. Fear does hits two, hits Ragnaros and Arthas. Sound barrier thrown down by Lucio. Gonna keep them alive despite all the burst out of... oh, and the body blocks by Dahaka. The Ancestral not being able to come down fast enough. Diablo taking a ton of damage from the Rainer and the Orphea. Looks like Lucio's down as well. Arthas takes the fall. Oh, yep, there it is. I was going to say, hold it, hold it, hold it. Uses it, barely makes it out alive. Dahaka's already top, grabbing that extra soak. Deco for the less armor on Primal Swarm, and the extra slow on enemies after the end of Drag. Both great talent choices. Yavapai is going to go ahead and grab this. They're still in a pretty good position here despite all their lanes being pushed in. Simply because they have all of the Fort Stead here. They do have all of their own Fort Stead. They are a little bit behind at this point, Full Meta Jacket, but even on levels. And once a double Lava Wave kicks in, if Rag goes double Lava Wave, it's going to be pretty hard for Full Meta Jacket to keep a lane, at the very least, pushed forward. We do see the rest of the shrine go to Full Meta Jacket, as Yavapai opts to grab their Bruiser instead to avoid that Bruiser steal. As we fade into the next Between Temples phase, this three-man top is in danger. We do see Full Meta Jacket is just rotating as 5 now, so they are slightly behind on Soak. Manages to make it out, and the Lava Wave is going to deal a ton of damage, but Sound Barrier comes out just to save the Diablo and potentially save the Lucio as well. We do see a counter engage with 5 members here. Lucio down, that move speed is gone, and they will be on top of the rest of these teammates. Diablo diving in to save the rest of his team, but it's not going to work. Gul'dan's going to fall. Zul'jin will potentially fall. He does have Tazdingo, so he might be able to get a kill in the meantime. Tazdingo popped a little early. You need to be waiting till the last second to pop that Tazdingo, as they're going to push top now. Grabbing Bruiser, opting for the Bruiser steal as the Haka grabs their Siege, potentially trying to get some counter push in the bottom lane. I appreciate it, Putu. I'm sorry I called you Potato. Thanks for you and Cosmic Orange for showing up in my chat today. I appreciate the support. Maybe we're gonna hop in for a few games after this this series is done. We do see a level 20 up for Yavapai. 4 members still down. This could potentially be Core. There's going to need a huge defense, as Core is already taking % damage. Ragnaros is hopping into the keep. This is going to be a dead Core. Fear will not do enough. Ragnaros is in that keep. He is dishing out damage on the Core. Just focus the Core. And there, game 2 goes to Yavapai County Youth ChessNSwim team. And we will be pushing this series to a game 3. Let's check out those post-game stats real quick. I think the Lucio was doing a lot for Full Meta Jacket. I think Full Meta Jacket was getting a huge amount of value. Let me update that point there for Yavapai. 1-1 now in our series here between Full Meta Jacket and YCYC NST. We do see Gul'dan just, like I mentioned, a ridiculous amount of damage. I think the thing that put Full Meta Jacket on the back foot was simply because there was a point in that game where, here, let me get my beautiful face back up here. There was a point in that game where Full Meta Jacket had all 3 lanes pushing, had access to the shrine. They lost that gank. They tried to set up a bush gank on the shrine, and it didn't go well for them. And it didn't go well simply because I don't think the engage was coordinated enough. You need your Diablo to be the first one out of the bush in those cases, so that he can jump on someone and you can burn that target down as soon as he puts his CC on them. You need your Dahaka to be ready and waiting to drag as soon as an opponent has been flipped. You don't even need to pull them anywhere, just hold them there, and then that will help you just destroy that target summarily. But I think the biggest thing that hurt, if we look at these talents, it's not going to tell me how far he stacked, but I think that was probably the biggest thing. I don't believe he finished. I know he didn't finish Headhunter, and I don't believe he finished his basic attack quest. I don't remember seeing the quest pop. Let me know in chat if I'm wrong about that. But that putting Zul'jin outside of the team fight, outside of the four-man, really puts him on the back foot when it comes towards engaging during the fights themselves, and he needs to be stacked to have a ton of that value. So if you're going to draft a Zul'jin, you're going to want to put somebody like your Gul'dan in the solo lane. He's still very good at clear. He maybe is not going to get his W stacks as fast. He maybe is not going to have as nice of a time kind of just shredding with all that DOT, but Zul'jin is by far the more important person to have attacking heroes throughout the game so that he can get that quest done and finish off the enemy team once it's done. Because once he gets that quest done, he gets the extra range, he gets the extra attack damage continually, and it just makes him that much more of a threat to the rest of the opposing team. I want to give a real nice shout out to Ragnaros there, opting not for the second lava wave because 20 came online so close towards their push top and grabbing the correct ult, in that case, heroic difficulty. As I get invited to game 2 and leave you all with all right, everybody, welcome back to Game 3 between Full Meta Jacket and Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team. This has been an amazing series thus far. We saw Full Meta Jacket take it back on the side of... we saw them take Game 1, on Dragonshire, and then we saw Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team take it back on Sky Temple, and now we are moving to Cursed Hollow, the map choice of Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team, after Full Meta Jacket opted for first pick on draft. So who will be there first? Bans. Incoming Cho'Gall, teased by Shank B9, as Kael'thas banned out first. for Full Metal Jacket, opting for that first ban Kael'thas again. Just don't want to deal with him in the slightest. Cursed Hollow, another one of these big maps where macro play is really important. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another Dahaka out of Full Metal Jacket. So that's something that I would honestly be willing to see Yavapai ban out right now as I'm talking. Let's go. Great ban choice, simply because of the difficulty that they would have in dealing with that hybrid. Got it? That hybrid. What am I talking about? Hybrid. Global. That global value that Dahaka gets. I'm just looking at myself. So when I look this way, I'm looking at myself on the preview to make sure that my tie still looks nice and that my hair isn't too crazy like it is right now. And if I'm looking this way, I'm checking out the chat. But if I'm looking right at you, that means I'm checking out the game. We do see Orphea banned now, so don't want to deal with that Orphea again. She was dishing out quite a lot of damage, quite a significant amount of just overall pressure put in those team fights from the Orphea, and an Uther banned out again. Interesting ban. Maybe they just don't deal well with Uther, because I haven't seen Full Metal Jacket pull Uther out, but perhaps they have this Uther healer in their pocket that they're ready to just kind of pull out and deal a lot of dirty damage with if they get the chance. Just keep those stuns up. And we do see Diablo again prioritized for Full Metal Jacket. Great pick. Great pickup. The Diablo play was good last game. It was definitely good. Focus a little bit more on getting those stuns up against the walls and just kind of being that big guy in the front that prevents the rest of the team from taking damage simply by your presence. We do see Sylvanas and Anduin picked up by Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim team. Yavapai opting for the Sylvanas Anduin. I really like Sylvanas into Diablo because she has a couple of really great damage builds that just shred tanks. And the Raynor Jaina double pickup. Now Raynor Jaina, I don't think I've discussed it earlier, but Raynor Jaina is very strong when you do that extra damage when a target is slowed or stunned. Raynor's got that nice talent that ups all of his every fourth basic attack as long as they have some kind of CC effect on them. Jaina provides constant slow, which means constant extra damage, and it's an amazing combo. And it can just absolutely shred teams. So Full Metal Jacket did it in Game 1. They just crushed with the Raynor Jaina combo. I'm excited to see them try it again here in Game 2. Deckard Cain banned out as a healer. Deckard Cain's interesting. I played Deckard a lot. I think he's really strong, but I haven't seen him actually played all that much in NGS, really at all, outside of my own team. All right. We see. Please ban Malthotychus. Maybe they are planning on going Cho'Gall. I doubt it. If they go Cho'Gall right here, I will. I don't know what I'll do. ETC banned out. Just banning out another good tank option. I'd like to see the Johanna. And Greyman's got some updates. He does a little bit more damage now. He's got a little bit easier or better scaling on his stacking quest for Cocktail. I still don't think it outdoes the range increase. But just the extra move speed on him feels nice. And just that extra basic attack damage just helps him shred a lot more. And then Cursed Bullet got an increase in damage as well. So I haven't talked about Anduin yet. Artanis and Stukov. Artanis is going to be great at holding a soul lane here. I want to see Artanis go amateur opponent because that's the only real option at level 1. Oh no, he's saying get ready. I hope we're ready for the Cho'Gall pick, last pick. It's going to be right here. Nope, that way. Right there. That's going to be Cho'Gall. What? Okay. I'll take it. We've got a Lost Vikings. So Eric, actually, one of those heroes that didn't get touched by the move speed change. So sad face. You thought you were getting 2 heroes in that one slot. You didn't know you were getting 3. I love Lost Vikings. I play them as much as my team will let me. So I'm excited to cast that. Anduin pretty great, actually, as a healer overall. It's kind of the first season he's available in NGS. He's already seen a lot of play. Most of his power comes from his trait, where you can just pull a teammate out of danger, give him unstoppable, and then just summarily heal them right up afterwards. His healing early game is not that great, but with a team frontline like Johanna, and some shredding damage like Greymane and Sylvanas, you're not really going to have that much trouble with it. Greymane might have a little bit of trouble diving in, but he does have that little bit of armor to help him out when he goes into Worgen form. We do have Stukov, again, just a great healer, and the Stukov play from game 1 from Full Metal Jacket was just outstanding. I'm probably going to give this game to Full Metal Jacket just based off the draft, just because I haven't seen Shankby's Lost Vikings. And if they're good, that could potentially swing the whole game. But if they're, kind of in the middle, it makes it a way easier time for Full Metal Jacket to pull this off. Let's go ahead and start back on the left with Full Metal Jacket. They're both 1-1 Full Metal Jacket, with Juggerod playing Artanis, Barber playing Jaina, Runtime Logic playing Diablo, Modus Trollin playing Stukov, and Israfine playing Raynor. Then we have, on the right, doing a 3-split and cheesing bottom, Yavapai County Youth ChessNSwim team. We have Andrade playing Johanna, Oraluna playing Anduin, Hybrid Remix playing Sylvanas, Megumilk playing Greymane, and Shankby9 playing the Lost Vikings. So let's go ahead and get those level 1 talents out. We're already seeing the split Lost Vikings out 1-1-1. Lost Vikings opting to go to every lane despite all 4 of these guys being bottom. Sylvanas going to cheese this lane bottom. They sniffed it out early. Full Metal Jacket on the rotation, but it's not going to be before they lose one of those towers. And they haven't lost any soak in any of these other lanes because Juggerod's playing smart here and just letting himself soak in that bush. Soak in this bush. While the fight happens here. So we're fighting in bottom lane. Jaina's going to go ahead and try to double soak these mid and top lanes. It's not going to go too well for her, but she will get those extra globes for her quest. Simply because I don't think the rotations are quick enough here. She might lose 1 or 2 minions, actually. With the new move speed updates, it actually might be possible. And we see this engage still happening bottom. Juggerod. So one of the things about Artanis, he did recently get an update. Good, he went amateur opponent. He did recently get an update with the Wednesday balance patch. And I'm going to get my beautiful face out of here in just a second. I just wanted you guys to stare at me for a little bit longer, Alright. Sorry about that. So, he did get a little bit of an update, but the biggest thing is I want to see him go blind here. Blind is going to help significantly with the Greymane, even with the Sylvanas. Sylvanas making it out with her E, and Artanis eating all of that damage after the swap goes down. They disable this tower, stay down here, keep cheesing bottom. This has definitely got to be a strategy that they have practiced before. They are just absolutely demolishing. They're leaving Eric even in the bottom lane just to get those globes. They're already at 9 globes for Viking Horde. They're keeping up the soak. Jaina's doing a good job of double soaking at this point. Where's that extra experience coming from? Yeah, as we can see, all that extra experience actually just comes from that hero kill and those structure kills. So they're actually completely even on soak right now. Yavapai opting to just stay as 4. That's exactly what you want to do when you have a Lost Vikings. They know what they're doing, and I take back my earlier statement. If they keep up this Vikings play and keep up these amazing team fights as a 4-man, they can actually destroy. But here comes the Jaina. The Jaina Raynor was the big damage combo that we're looking out for. So this is potentially very bad news. I think you just need to poke it as long as possible, but not hard engage. You gotta pretend like Eric's not there. Eric's one of those heroes that, yeah, he's dead. You just need to poke it and not hard engage on this point. The longer you can poke the more value you get out of the Vikings. So when you're playing with Vikings on this map, you don't need to get every objective early on. You have to get 3 to actually get the curse. So you can just delay the first 2 objectives for as long as possible. Get those heroes with lots of poke, like Sylvanas. Johanna's even got it with her blind. Greymane's got it with his Q in human form. So you do have heroes there with poke. Just let them just delay for ages on that point. Don't lose any heroes to it. And when time comes down to it, for that 3rd objective, you should have 10 on them by then, because you've had all this extra soak. They have to dedicate 5 heroes to taking the point. Otherwise, you just demolish it because you have a super strong 4-man with the TLV going everywhere else. This does depend on TLV not getting ganked in these lanes. They need to keep these lanes available, as I scroll back and forth really quickly and probably hurt a lot of people's heads. Sorry about that. This all depends, as we zoom out a little bit more to watch kind of the extent of this fight. Level 7's online for both teams now. We do see Warp Sickness and Shield Surge, both standard choices for Artanis. Blessed Momentum. What does this build look like? Oh yes, Viking Bribery, Mercenary Lord, and Spin to Win. My favorite build. Just going full split push. Anduin in a very bad spot here for Yavapai. That's going to... So again, you really just need to delay these as long as possible without losing heroes. The longer you delay, the bigger your increase in XP lead becomes. You already have 4,000 more minion soak, because every time one of these things comes up, you have to dedicate 5 members of Full Meta Jacket to defending and capping that point. If you can get enough of a lead where on the 3rd point you have level 10 and they do not, that's when you start to take the fights and take the points. You need to establish that level lead early first, though. Do see Johanna coming up. Kind of just anchoring, getting that soak for her team. Sylvanas stepping up a little far, trying to get stacks, I think. No, she's going for the more standard, just pure damage without the W stacking quest. We do see Fetid Touch, actually, out of Stukov. I don't remember if that's the build he's been going. This one right here, Ace in the Hole, deal 15% more damage to stunned or slowed heroes. That is going to be the big one that combos with the Jaina so well, and that's why they want that Jaina combo. Viking Bribery used to grab this siege camp. Great pickup, because Artanis with Amateur Opponent is very good at picking those camps up. He's also very good at cleaning them, so it didn't get too much value, but that's half a tower. That's still pretty good. And they do actually have level 10 here over Full Meta Jacket's level 9, so Full Meta Jacket is going to have to opt to just give this one, which is a smart play. They're giving it, they're soaking, they're going to get 10, they're going to get this Bruiser here, and just try to keep up pressure in lanes, try to make sure they know, hey, it's only the first out of 3, they don't need to worry too much about, you know, losing this one when they're down level 10. So we do see level 10s come online. Choices are Blessed Shield, they're pushing bottom here. That's going to be a ganked Olaf. Pushing bottom here, trying to get this fort down. Trying to give that kind of counter push. They do have an Ellie soaking tower shots or fort shots. And then the wave comes in just in time. And they do get that fort, which is going to be very good for them. It's going to give a little bit extra passive XP gain and some extra pressure bottom with those catapults every 3rd wave. Make it a little bit harder for TLV to keep up that soak. So we do see play again. Standard choice if you're going split push like what is expected on this map. Go for the throat. It's going to be great for locking on to that Rainer when they're low and that Jaina when they're low. I actually would have liked to see, only because I haven't seen the increased Cursed Bullet effect yet. It's only 5% extra health, but that can still be pretty significant. APOC goes out but misses. Play again, popped to get all 3 of these beautiful Vikings in on this fight as they come together to try and make sure that this point is not capped. They have to get this point. Greymane dying outside of the protected, by the way, from Anduin. Pushing Full Meta Jacket off this point. They have to go back and sip. We need one Viking to just cap while they push on this point, but it's not going to happen as 2 Vikings go down. Sylvanas goes down, and Jaina is going to grab this point and start the curse We're potentially going to see push bottom straight onto to keep here. I simply think Full Meta Jacket likes kind of pressing that huge advantage. They're probably going to get this Johanna. She's alone into 5 members of Full Meta Jacket. I don't see how she escapes this alive. Just a difficult rotation. Probably should have started rotating up through your fort and then around, but sometimes the map just likes to give you some bad rotation clicks. As we finish going through the ults here before we get to level 13, Wailing Arrow, pretty standard. Holy Word Salvation, obviously, we saw it used. And Blessed Shield, pretty great. We do see Greymane just getting destroyed again. I think that was the trait. It was. It went on full cooldown, that trait. Full cooldown on Anduin's trait attempting to do that pull as they get a keep bottom and emphasize this pressure that they have in mid and top, as well as TLV unable to counter pressure those full health minions without a minion wave. So things are looking very good for Full Meta Jacket now. And then on the side of Full Meta Jacket, in terms of, we do see Suppression Pulse, good. So they didn't up the speed of his laser, so it basically doesn't do anything now. It gets maybe 1 or 2 damage ticks in before you're able to simply walk away from it. And then it never gets close to you again. You don't even have to like use movement abilities to get away from it. And Full Meta Jacket going to take it. They are behind in levels, but they're very close. Or sorry, behind a little bit in XP, but they're same tier of levels. So they're going to take advantage of this time that they have with having to respond to the bottom boss to go ahead and grab the top boss. They grabbed the bottom boss during that. I kind of missed them grabbing it, but I'm assuming they did it while the curse was ending, and Yavapai had to kind of respond to all of the pressure in each of their lanes. So we do see Suppression Pulse, Water Elemental, Apocalypse, Massive Shove, and Hyperion out of Full Meta Jacket. Pretty good choices there. Ring, I still like, but the Water Elemental helps, especially when you can throw it on somebody like the Greymane or the Sylvanas and just kind of keep them out of the fight. We do see some counter push by TLV, so TLV go ahead and grabbing these Siege. This Siege are going to be able to just attack this tower pretty significantly, especially with the Mercenary Lord, and get a ton of damage out there. So a lot of counter push top. They're getting a lot of counter push mid as well, but they're going to lose a fort in the meantime to this boss. Full Meta Jacket is going to go ahead and back off and just take the safer play, go defend their keeps and forts, while Yavapai clears the boss. But now they have 2 lanes to deal with where they have no keep. This could still go in favor of Yavapai, but simply because they don't have a huge level lead anymore, I see it difficult to go in the favor of Full Meta, or sorry, of Yavapai, simply because of the TLV. Most of the value you get out of TLV is when you have that level lead for your 4-man to just kind of go around and do anything that they want to do into the other team. Looks like they're going to opt to go ahead and give this point and instead get that push bottom, get some counter pressure with that catapult every 3rd wave. Johanna stepping up and tanking the damage before it is shut off by Sylvanas. So giving this point to go ahead and grab the fort, it's probably the right call. They're even on talent tiers, and it's difficult to take those team fights. They really just need to be kind of outdoing the macro level decisions. So if they can kind of keep pressure up here, they do need to back, though, because they only have 1 keep protecting this. And Full Meta Jacket knows it. They're going to push in, and they're going to force a back out of Yavapai County Youth ChessNSwim team. We do see Fetid Touch finally get completed. That was a long quest, man. Lots of camp pressure by the Vikings. Excuse me. Long day at work today. Had a doctor's appointment in the middle of it, so going to and from and all that fun stuff. We do see Full Meta Jacket kind of responding to this push. Very likely Yavapai is going to just give this next one as well. They're on even talent tiers, but if they can get a pick here, they're going after Raynor. He's going to go down, and Jaina will make it out alive. The APOC will barely catch that, or well, it'll catch the Eric, but it'll barely not kill him. They're going to get this all this push bottom, but they did give that point top to get this push bottom. I think it's probably a better call. Gets flipped over the wall. So in these cases, when you are flipped over the wall by Diablo, attack the side walls here because they go down much more quickly than the gate. Gonna go ahead and back out when they know they can't really get much more. They did at least get keep wall, but they did not get keep. They're doing a very good job of counter pushing and defending here. All of their waves are pushed out at this point. So TLV has actually been getting a lot of staying value in this game. It's just going to be difficult for them to win a team fight from here out until they can get to level 20 just before their opponent. If they can accomplish that, then it should be easy enough to win a favorable team fight at one of these objective points. Opting to grab their bruiser now, just to keep that extra wave pressure up. TLV doing a pretty good job of keeping that catapult pressure back and keeping these waves pushed out as much as possible. As again, I scroll up and down and hurt everybody's eyes. I'm so sorry. Olaf just quickly taken out of the fight there by Diablo and Jaina. As I do have someone entering my home. We see this fight happen here. They have to fight it simply because another curse will spell the end for them. But they just can't get onto the Stukov for the heals. The Greymane goes down too quickly. I don't think this fight is going to trade favorably for Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim team at this point. Johanna's already low. Go ahead and pops the Unstoppable. Pops the pull. Anduin stunned immediately out of Protected by the Way. As, don't grab this camp. Just push. Alright, when you've got Curse like this, it was a quick grab, but still, you just kind of want to push. It is going to give them a little bit more pressure on this core, but at this point, they've got 2 members dead. They have Curse. This isn't going to be doing anything. They're going to have a wave coming in top. TLV is going to try to get that counter push mid. They do get a fort, but we're going to see TLV die here. We're going to see Sylvanas barely able to stay alive. Johanna is still standing up there and doing a lot. Sylvanas gets blinded, but a GG called by Andrade as the core goes down, and we see Full Metal Jacket Cake Game 3 of our series and take the series 2-1 over Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim team. We will get Juggerob, very likely, out of Full Metal Jacket in here for an interview. Fairly quickly. I want to go over a little bit of that game real quick here. So again, with the TLV, you really have to create that super strong 4-man and just have that soak everywhere. Because if you don't, it ends up becoming kind of this point where it's difficult to fight in those 4-man fights simply because you're on even talent tiers as they have 5 members. We do see Jaina, again, getting a ton of value. Jaina and Raynor sharing that siege and hero damage value. Artanis getting only one death out of Raynor, so just not able to secure those kills in the team fights. TLV doing good for them early game, helping them get that one curse point that they did get, but unfortunately just not enough for Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim team. It's a lovely name, isn't it? Just so long and difficult to say. So, I will see if I can get Juggerob in for an interview. Go ahead and message him. Alright, figure out an open lobby. Lobby 4. As I hop over to my interview tab, we've got Juggerob. I don't know if I spelled his name right. Nope, just one R.
Hello?
Hello! Congrats on the win and good games tonight. Very fun and exciting series.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, actually.
So, again, congrats on your win against Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim team tonight. It's been fun saying that all night, for sure.
Yeah, I bet.
I
And there's no easy acronym for their name too, like
you got
FMJ.
YCYCNST, but that's pretty much just as long, and just as difficult to say.
Right.
So I appreciate you joining me for the interview. Let's talk about the games real quick.
Hmm.
Game one, you guys showed pretty dominant performance on Dragonshire. You guys had a really strong team comp there. I think the Dahaka was giving you a lot of kind of threat value just with the global, making it difficult for them to engage even if they were kind of a man up because Dahaka could always come in at any time.
Hmm.
Um, Dealing with that Murky though, was giving you a run for your money.
He was, man. I actually have a level 80 Murky as well, so I have some inkling on how to play him and how to get the most value out of him. But man, Magoo Milk was just giving me everything I could handle, along with the Phoenix that was alting.
Oh yeah,
It
the
was
the
difficult solo laning up
the
there.
Octograb plus Planet Cracker combo was pretty crazy to watch.
I didn't see it coming, and when it happened the first time, I was like, oh, that's what they're doing with Octograb. Because I assumed that they were going to do some like I think they said it was a variant Colossus Smash, and
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
going to do something with that. But no, I was very wrong. They had a much more interesting strategy than my boring strategy I
So,
had.
don't worry about it. That game went so long before the first uh, Dragonite was taken,
Hmm.
to the point where that first Dragonite basically decided the match. Because at that point it's so strong that you can push down the keep with it. You can go
Hmm.
ahead and set yourself up for core later. So what do you think helped you guys grab that Dragonite when you did?
Patience, man. That it was really, really tough trying to manage. Murky's so good at clearing, so securing that top was actually more difficult than I feel like it normally is. And then I just had to keep an eye out on the mini map, make sure that if they were engaging hard, I could burrow in to help them out if need be, and just just trying to take advantage of team fights when we can in camps and whatnot. But I mean, kudos to the chess team. They they were just doing everything in their power to prevent that, and they did a really good job.
Yeah, that was a very back and forth match. Both teams definitely had chances to grab the Dragonite at any time.
Yeah.
Could have swung either way and swung your guys' way. And then we go to
Hmm.
game two on Sky Temple. So talk to me a little bit about how you guys are feeling going into game two.
Um, I think we felt pretty good, but the previous game was just so it was just so back and forth, and we knew that they, based on their team comp, that they were going to give us everything that we could handle once again. And obviously that was another really close game. So
Yeah, so
unfortunately we didn't win, but
all of the
you
games
know
tonight have actually been pretty close.
yeah.
The I think the Lucio is getting you guys a lot of value on Sky Temple. I've always kind of commended picking Lucio on that map simply because his move speed buff to the team helps you have those rotations so much faster. And with the recent increase in move speed, just baseline, now you can do those
Yeah.
rotations even faster now.
Right.
So it just becomes this kind of crazy ball of running death that
Destruction, yeah.
that just destroys and walks over everything. Um, I think there was a point in that game too where you guys had all of your waves pushed forward on them, and it looked like you guys were about to take the match. Um,
Hmm.
and you set up a bush gank for
Yeah.
the middle shrine, and it didn't quite go your guys' way. So I'm wondering what you
Oh,
were thinking about that.
so that one we just we sort of expected them to come up in a slightly safer direction. I actually forget entirely how that played out. I know that they came up sort of behind us, so we were stuck in this weird angle. But I don't. Did somebody on our team die during that? I don't remember, honestly. That game was just
I
filled with so many team
believe.
fights that were just chaotic.
Yeah, I think there were two deaths out of a pretty good combo
Um,
off that one, and then
yeah. Then
that's
I mean, kudos to them. I mean, they're like the Arthas is just with the slows, man. That's kind of why one of the reasons why we picked the Lucio was to counteract some of the slows from the Arthas, so we could get away if we needed to. Um, but yeah, they played really aggressively, and maybe we should have anticipated that they were gonna sort of take a more aggressive approach to taking that camp. Especially they had been playing really aggressively
Yeah.
the whole time. So
Well, you guys still did very well in a very close game as we go into
yeah.
game 3 here on Cursed Hollow. Um, Cursed Hollow. So they banned out Dahaka, which I
Hmm.
think was very smart of them because you guys have been
Yeah.
playing a pretty great Dahaka all night.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
and then uh, I threw me for a loop. I think you had it wasn't you were playing Gul'dan game 2, weren't you? Or did
I
you
was playing
guys?
Gul'dan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was playing Gul'dan.
Because I saw you guys. You pulled out Dahaka game 1, and then you switched on to Gul'dan game 2, and I'm like, are they gonna swap later or? Anyway. Um, Pretty good diversity then, at least among your team, to be able to
Mhm.
kind of pull out those heroes on different players,
Yeah,
which is good. Helps keep them from kind of like target banning whoever's left to pick and that kind of stuff.
exactly. Yeah.
Um, but so game 3, the TLV gets picked as
Hmm.
as that last pick.
Hmm.
Um, what kind of goes through your head there? Because I know TLV can be very strong on Cursed Hollow if you're
Yep.
playing the strategy right, which Yavapai was. But you
They
guys
were.
just
Yeah.
seem to be able to shut it down whenever you could, and I think a lot of that came from the Jaina and the Rainer
Hmm.
combos that you guys had pulled off in game 1 as well. So talk
Yep.
to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So normally when the loading screen happens, we're a little bit more just like conversational. We're not. We're just like sort of going over postmortem of the previous game. But this game we were like trying to lock in exactly how to deal with the Lost Vikings, and yeah, we just knew that we had to win team fights very quickly, and we had to play them very precise in our engagements and whatnot. And ultimately, I think we were able to do that. The it was it seemed really difficult. Like they were, I know we'd taken the first objective or the first like curse, but even then, it still felt like we were teetering because they were getting so much value elsewhere. The Lost Vikings were, and their team was just still so threatening, just with the Gray Mane and the Johanna's obviously a great tank. So
Yeah, yeah, and I think I was trying to kind of highlight in the game is even though you had that advantage, TLV can still kind of turn it around at any point if you're not responding to them, which creates a very difficult game for you guys because you have to constantly be on top of the 3-man split TLV,
yeah.
in addition to being ready to hit those team fights when you need to. So very
Mhm.
well played by you guys. Very very good kind of response to them whenever and good decision making in that sense where you knew when to go back and deal with them and when to push the advantage that you had to take keeps and to eventually take the game.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
All right, I want to give you the chance to do any quick shout outs if you want to before we sign off for the night.
All right. So first off, I want to thank the rest of Full Meta Jacket, and that includes Zrice and Rough Day Team. I also want to thank you to the chess team. I don't have their whole name down, so I apologize. I'm butchering the name, but the chess and swimming club team, and thank you for casting it.
Thank you so much. All right. If that is all, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great night. Congrats on the wins again, and great games from both teams. Pretty
Thank you
outstanding
so
series
much.
to watch. All right, have a
Thanks.
good night.
You too. Bye bye.
All right, folks, that is going to be it from me for tonight in the Nexus. We just brought you Full Meta Jacket versus Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team in this Division D West Series. Full Meta Jacket takes it 2-1, winning games 1 and 3 against Yavapai County Youth Chess and Swim Team, and moves on with +2 points. Going forward in the series, we will see and catch up with more NGS action later in the week. And there's also some other games happening